But I think it's cool. And then he smiles, and for a while I'm in love.
Hi, welcome to River's Knitting Chronicles. I'm River, also known as River Cameron on Ravelry, and welcome to episode number 5. I want to thank everyone who's made this journey into podcasting so wonderful for me. I've been having the best time and have met some amazing people. I have been watching back my episodes. It's, I guess, training from theater school at Florida State, and so one thing I've been trying to improve upon from episode to episode, and last episode I should have retitled the one with the ums, because I said at least once per sentence. So I've restarted 5 times and stopped every time I hit an and if I keep doing that, I'm not going to get to a full podcast before it gets too dark for you to be able to see me. So I am really going to try hard to get rid of the ums. Sorry, I'm going to try hard to get it down to under a dozen, but I am cognizant of it, and it is something that I'm working on. It's odd because it's not something that comes up in my normal speech patterns. I don't know why it's happening while I'm staring at this Dalek, but it is, and I'm going to work on it for this episode. So if I have weird facial expression pauses, it's not that I'm trying to be funny. It's I've tried to cut myself off at the Anyway, we are up to 48 members in the Ravelry group, and we're having a really good time. I've met some amazingly wonderful people. If you haven't joined yet, please stop over and join us, contribute. Sorry, I did it again. Contribute, have fun. We're just having a great time, and you'll meet some really wonderful people over there. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm enjoying all of the positive feedback that I'm getting, and it's just a wonderful thing. So, I especially wanted to thank a couple of people specifically. I have my first iTunes review, and it felt really good. It's a very positive one, which was super, super sweet, and it's Renee Loves You, RANAELUVSEWE. And it's a really wonderful review, and I just want to thank her in person, as much as this is in person, for that shout out to me on iTunes, and maybe it'll get more people on iTunes to check me out. So thank you again, sincerely. I also want to thank Dawn from the Wolf Farms podcast. She is a member of our group as well, and she gave me a mention on her show last week. And I know that a few people have come over because they saw her mention and are enjoying the show and are Harry Potter fans as well. And I'm so grateful to feel that love coming from Wolf Farms. I really enjoy her show, which is really great. And she's now in there with her husband, and he's giving some camera photography tips and hints, which I really need. I'm having some trouble with reds, but I'm working on it. So I'm trying to really take his advice to heart, and I'm enjoying their show, and you should check them out if you haven't, because they're really nice folk. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So I have gotten a few, in case you're wondering why I'm leaning forward, I taped the show notes to the top. You are sitting on top of my laptop. You are not the camera that came with my laptop. You are a different one, but you're sitting on top of it. And I taped my show notes to the top of the keyboard on the laptop. And you're a little farther back today, I think, because I can't quite see my own handwriting. And so that's why I'm having to lean forward. So I'm trying to stay on track so we can stay on time. I've gotten some questions from a few people who've watched the show who are Harry Potter fans but maybe haven't checked out the House Cup, exactly how it works. All it really is, if you boil it down to the absolute bare bones, is a large group with multiple monthly knit/crochet/spin-alongs. It's really the brass tacks of it, is that you're there with some other people and you're going to knit along for specific things. But instead of saying, hey, this month let's all knit hats, it's, hey, you come into flying class and your best friend Colin keeps crashing and banging his head. I help Colin out by creating something that would protect his head. And so it's just, they're just worded a little bit differently, but a hat's a hat. And in this way, you could also knit him a scarf that he wraps around his head. You could knit him a pillow that you could knit a bunch of hexapuffs and have him glue them to his head. You could spin him some yarn to tie around his waist and tie over a tree to keep him from falling. So you can be a little bit creative in the various prompts, which leave it wide open instead of just saying you have to knit a hat, you have to be done by such and such day. There's only one rule. A few people have said that they're not interested because they feel like there's too many rules. There's really only one, and that's only if you're sorted, and that is that you have to turn in one thing a month during the months that we're on. During the on months. And the term is 3 months, and then you're off a month, and so you don't have to turn in anything for there. And it doesn't have to be finished. And that's all you really have to do, is you have to turn in one thing a month, and it can be just cast on, it can just be started, it can be completed. You just have to do one thing at any stage and finished. To earn points, you get obviously more points by turning in more things and all of that. Most people there, I think, feel like I do. I don't care personally about winning for me. I like winning because I have a great team. My team is Gryffindor, and we're amazing people. We have won once in the time that I've been playing, and I think it's the only time that we've ever won. And the night that was announced, everyone jumped into the Ravelry chat room, and multiple people, myself included, admitted that we were laughing and crying simultaneously. It was a crazy, geeky, raucous good time, and I want to get to do that again. So I'm doing as much as I can to make sure to try to get us to that point again. But it's not, again, one thing a month is all that's mandatory. If you know you're going to be doing something that takes longer than that, then there are other options for those, and if anyone would like me to get into that, I will. But it's really not all that rule-intensive beyond that. One thing a month, it doesn't even have to be finished. And then there are other options past that, but those are all just options. The best thing, though, about the House Cup, and I've mentioned this before, is the people. There are probably the most amazing people on Ravelry, if not on this planet, walking around in the Harry Potter Knit Crochet House Cup. And I can testify to that because there's been so many just random acts of kindness throughout the group. You hear lots of things, and people get together and meet in the non-virtual world. And one thing that happened for me, and this was another question that I got, I did it again, sorry. I should turn into a knitting game. You have to purl every time I say or something, I don't know. Anyway, one thing that happened, I was going through a really rough time. Things at work were tough, things at home were tough. I really didn't have a safe haven beyond kind of the computer, and even that stuff was just bad at the time. And one of my, not even a fellow Gryffindor, one of my fellow House Cut members made me a present. And so I was going to share them. This is Fred. That's Fred. And that's George. And they're twins, as you can see. They were made for me and sent to me by a fellow House Cut member by the name of Rockin' Sticks, and I'm calling you out because I think you're awesome, and everyone needs to just send you wow, you're awesome messages in the PMs on Ravelry. The pattern is actually called the Professor Severus Snape doll, and it's by Nikki Fijelkowska. And I will link that, because I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly or not. But instead of making a Snape with the black hair, she made the red hair, and she personalized the clothes, and I love the feet. The feet are just awesome. And I had been having so many terrible days in a row, And I went to get my mail, and there they were in an envelope. No, I didn't request them, I didn't ask, I had no idea they were coming, they were just there, and they made me smile, and to this day they make me smile, and whenever I feel like, grumble, grumble, everything just sucks, I look at them and know that not everything sucks, because there are awesome people in this world who go out of their way to make you smile. So, again, the pattern is the Professor Severus Snape doll, and it is, you can get to it on Ravelry, but then it asks you to go to the blog, and I didn't knit them, they were knit for me, so in case you I was waiting for someone to mention them. I've been moving them around every podcast. They've been sitting in a different little place, and so today they're on the hats, right over here. Okay, so what I want, the question of the week, I guess, for us is, and you can call them out, and you can earborn them if you want, but you don't have to. But if someone else on Ravelry, someone else has paid it forward or made you smile or done something awesome for you, please come over and I'll start a thread and we can just share. Rav folks are awesome stories, and let's just share and rejoice and wallow in the good that is knitters, and especially the knitters on Ravelry and in the different groups that are out there. So please share those stories with us, because I'd love to hear about people, and you can earburn them and bring them over, and I'd love to meet them, and yeah, let's share the happy. Okay, I'm going to move on to my whips. I have no finished objects for this week, and I haven't worked on much beyond my vodka lemonade sweater. I think I'm going to go out of the order that I wrote this, and I'm going to start with the Geyer cowl, because it hasn't been out of the bag since the last time I showed it to you, but people might be starting on episode 5. I don't know. They might not have seen the past episodes, so I'm going to go ahead and show it again, because it's beautiful, and I think if you enjoy stranded color work, this is an amazing pattern. It is called the Geyer Cowl, Gyre, by Elizabeth Elliott. It is a paid pattern on Ravelry. The way that this cowl it can be done 2 ways, and there are full instructions for both. There's one way to do it where it is just this outside part, but the way I'm going to do it, and I will finish this, it's too beautiful not to, is this needs to have about 1/3 more. I think that should do it. And then I'll have another brown edge at the top, and then you knit practically a whole other cowl, but it's in barber pulling stripes, and that goes on the inside, and then this was supposed to be a provisional cast on, which I didn't do. I just really wanted to cast it on. I didn't want to try to figure that out. So then I'll seam the top edge of that to the bottom edge of this, so it'll be reversible is how it'll end up. So the fact that I've got floats and all that in here won't aggravate anything, because it'll be covered. So this is Geyer Cowl, Gyre, Elizabeth Elliott. The yarn is Silky Malabrigo, Silky Merino, which is a DK, in the colorways Smoke, which is the brown, and Amoroso, which is it's a pink, red, variegated, sorry again for the, pink, red, variegated through there. I am knitting it on US size 7s, which are a 4.5 millimeter. These are Knit Picks Harmonies interchangeables. And for this, they're doing a fine job, and so far, no cable issues. So that is the Geyer Cowl. The other thing that I did work on until, honestly, I forced myself to stop. I really wanted to go forward. I honestly think I could have finished these in the time limit if not for the sweater, but I had to stop because I had to get to the sweater. Sorry. These are the Lebowski Socks. They are named for the film The Big Lebowski, which I still have not seen, and it's still on Showtime, which we got because my husband I like it too, but my husband loves Dexter, and it's the final season of Dexter, and we have the DVDs for most of the earlier seasons. He had borrowed a set of DVDs for the last season, and so now it's the final season of the show. The show is ending, and we decided to bite the bullet. It was $10, and I think when Dexter's over, we'll probably cancel. But, so, anyway, it's all on Showtime, but I still haven't seen it because I've been watching other podcasts or been watching reruns of Project Runway on Hulu, because that's something you don't have to look up the whole time and you can. But anyway, tangent. This is the Lebowski sock, and this is the full cuff. I am to the point now where it's time for me to do the heel flap. The heel flap has an Intarsia eagle on it, and now that I won't make the deadline is Sunday, this is not for I'm knitting these for Harry Potter House Cup as well. The deadline I'm speaking of is for the Tour de Sock. But now that I've missed that, I'm on the fence as to whether or not I'll do the eagle. I really do want to try Intarsia, and so I might as well. What was great about these socks is that it's got 3 different kinds of color work. It's got stranded. Well, these are... It's not self-striping yarn, so you make the stripes. These 2 motifs are mosaic color work, and then this is stranded color work, and then the heel flap is Intarsia. So you got to really play with different types of color work on something that's small, not too difficult to do, not too difficult to back up if you need to. The yarn I'm using, the red is Malabrigo Sock and Tisano, I wrote it down, Tisano Red. The white is my new favorite yarn, Miss Babs Cosmic in Wheaton. And the blue is blue that I had that I can't remember what it was. I am knitting them on US 3s, which are a 3.25 millimeter. These are Chaigus, the red lace ones with the 40-inch cable. I love these. If I won the lottery tomorrow, one of my first purchases after buying out everything in Miss Bab's storefront would be every single size of Chaigu lace that they have in existence, because I love these needles so much. So that's those. Okay, now to the thing that I've made the most progress on. I really wanted to be farther along. I'd hoped that I would have, I need to sit up, that I would have separated for the sleeves and been able to show you that. I am 1 purl back row away from doing that. So I'm going to do that tonight, because if I'd have put it off, again, we would have lost light. Sorry again. I don't have special light in here. When it gets winter, I'm going to have to do something else, but the way I've been lighting this is it's an overhead, and then my window has the blinds open, and white walls have been helping with the light in here. But anyway, so it is much bigger. See how I can show you this. And I was at the end of the row. So here is my sweater. It is called the Vodka Lemonade by Thea Coleman. And this part, it's now folded over. It is a top-down construction. I can't see it all what you're seeing. Okay. The seed stitch is the collar. It folds down. And so now you're looking at the inside. And so it wraps around. Where the yarn overs are, there you go. That is how you're constructing into the shoulders for the sleeve. So the sleeve here is right there and it goes all the way around. So I have all of my increases left done for my size. I've got it on both sides. Hold, I shouldn't move so fast, I guess. And so all I have to do now is purl back, and then I separate out the sleeves, and then I have to do 4.5 inches, I believe, and I'm down to the waist shaping. How I'm incorporating this in the house cup is this is my owl. I mentioned earlier that, yes, the only rule is to turn in something, turn in something once a month during the term. You can, if you know it's going to be something that will take you longer than a month, declare it for either an owl, which should take you 2 to 3 months, or an order mission, which should take you 6 to 8 weeks or so. The socks, the Lebowski socks, and whichever pattern is next, which that will come out on Sunday, are my order mission. I already declared those, and this is my owl. I am not good at owls. I have declared an owl all but one term that I've been playing the Harry Potter House Cup, and I've only actually finished once. So I really, really, really want to finish this. You get points even if you only get halfway by the end of the second month. And so that's Sunday, and my halfway point, they let me pick what I thought was halfway. And so I picked at the waist shaping. But I really think as soon as I get these shoulders separated out, I'm going to lose 200 some-on stitches. And a lot of this, I'll lose the yarn over stuff as well. So it'll just zip back and forth. And barring natural catastrophe, I really think I'll get my halfway points. And then I'm going to have to just keep knitting like Nemo, which I've never seen that movie either. But people say it all the time. So that is my sweater. One thing I meant to mention at the beginning, and I'm not going to redo all of this for this, I'll put it right here, is another one of my great, wonderful group members saw this shirt on, let me see if I can get in the picture, saw this shirt on T-Fury and sent me put a thing on the group and said that I had to get it. So thank you very much for Stitch It Out Loud. I can't read the writing. For the recommendation of the shirt. I love it. It's very comfy. It's really, really cute. I adore it. It has my name right there. That totally works for the show. I don't know what that was. Okay, so I think that that's all that I have for today, and without the 5 gazillion ums, there were still a few, I'm going to have to keep working at it, but without that, I think that I'm doing okay, and time-wise, we're a bit short. So thank you very much for watching. Please stop by the Rav group and join us and contribute to our good time. Please share with us if you've got some stories about some wonderful Ravelers and knitters who have been great to you or to someone else or in your community, or whatever story you'd like to share. I will start that group as soon as I get this posted. I will start that thread as soon as I get this posted for this week. And I will see you all on the group or on next Friday. Alright, thanks for watching.
I have a crush on a boy named Samson. He doesn't know who I am, and he's got thick brown hair, blue eyes that stare into your soul.